Some people think that neuroscience has shown that we don't really have free will. We may think we do, but when we look at what's happening in the brain, say when we voluntarily move our arm, some doubt is thrown on the matter. But can this be right? In my presentation, I'm going to discuss two arguments which I hope will demonstrate that free will isn't threatened after all. Both of these arguments are sort of brain teasers themselves, enjoyable points for discussion. And the first argument, call it the inhibited sneeze theory of free will. I show that neuroscience experiments on free will, like the famous ones of Benjamin Libet, make use of a confused conception of what free will is. Libet holds that while humans don't have free will, they do have free won't. I argue Libet's theory is mistaken. Why? Because his view implies that free will is more like an inhibited sneeze than a voluntary movement. And this is certainly an incorrect picture of free will, as I understand it. I call my second argument the illusion of doing neuroscience. I argue that if neuroscience shows conscious voluntary actions are illusory, then doesn't this imply that neuroscientists are under the illusion of voluntarily doing neuroscience? If I'm right, then what neuroscientists should really be saying is that neuroscience is under the illusion of demonstrating that free will is an illusion. And I don't think defenders of free will need to be worried about illusory refutations of free will. Taken together, I think arguments of this kind show us that neuroscience does not disprove free will, and that's very important for all sorts of areas of life: personal relations, ethics, law, politics, and not least, the question of God. Do come along and argue this through with me.